What's up, everyone? Welcome back to TRF Talk. I'm your host, HalyJ, and today we have an incredible guest joining us for our workout. Johnny Bananas, maybe the greatest TV personality on reality TV ever, for sure, locked in. He's been on reality TV for 20 years. His face has been everywhere on all of the shows. You may recognize him from multiple different reality TV shows. But today, he said he would show up and do a workout with me and let me ask him some questions about life on TV, running a business, running a podcast, and just being overall a pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Exactly. Being a, playboy, philanthropist, fucking millionaire.
There you go.
But who's
what
counting?
Everyone wants, right?
Who's counting?
All right, Johnny, so we are gonna start with a warm-up, getting our bodies moving. Today we're doing full body. We're gonna get the heart rate up and be moving across the turf. But right now we gotta open up our hips, get that booty right. So we're gonna start with a Cossack squat. So nice and low, sitting one side, lifting the toes, come all the way up and switch sides. And while we do this warm-up, we'll go about 10 total reps here. Okay. Let's just talk about you.
Okay.
So we know you've been on TV.
I love talking about me.
You've been on TV for many, many years, started on The Real World, and now look at you. So I just want you to share with us a couple things you're really proud of, your journey, a quick bio for the people.
I think what I'm most proud of is that I've managed, as my dad said, to take my mischievous nature that got me into a lot of trouble as a kid, and I have somehow now managed to turn it into a very successful, very lucrative 20-year career.
Nice. All right, let's do our hinges.
Everyone asks me, they're like, what's the blueprint, man? How'd you do it? I'm like, I couldn't even tell you. Hinges? Okay. That's what these are called?
Hinges. We're going to do these, yeah. We're going to go for
You guys are getting the wrong angle, man. You should be right there.
So tell me, when you first, did you audition to be on The Real World?
I went to Penn State for college. My cousin Vince, who's actually been on a couple seasons of the challenge with me,
nice.
Got a full ride there for football. So yeah, my senior year of college,
up and over?
I had no like real plan for what I wanted to do after college. So at the time, The Real World was basically a staple of college life. I sent an audition tape because I didn't want to get a real job. That was my main motivation. My main motivation for going on reality TV is I loved college. I wanted to continue partying. I basically wanted to be like the real life Van Wilder, and I somehow found a loophole or a flaw in the matrix that has allowed me to now not have a real job for the last 20 years and circumnavigate the globe and do some of the coolest things and meet some of the coolest people and have some of the most coolest experiences that anyone could ever ask for. So that's basically it.
Okay. You got to do the reps with me because
I'm trying. Working out and talking is not my strong suit. Okay,
well,
I do like
that's
one
what we're doing today.
It's
I'm
like eating.
Challenge you, Johnny. I know
it's
you've
like, hold
done
on,
TV.
here's a mouthful of food. Why don't you talk while you're chewing?
Just wait till we get to burpees.
Yeah, we're not talking doing burpees.
All right, so you made it on The Real World. What was the experience? Was it everything you thought it was? Was it crazy?
I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. It was actually kind of like this. I show up in Key West, having no prior experience to ever being on camera, and we were just surrounded by cameras. But I've always kind of been a showman, if you will. I've always kind of had like that, I guess, that knack for entertaining. So it was it kind of came natural. Now it's like I don't even notice anymore.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say that The Real World was a favorite show of yours, or would you ever go back?
Absolutely. It was it was my introduction into this world.
Nice.
I was 22 years old at the time. I mean, and at the time, The Real World was like, there was basically, reality television was in its infancy. It was The Real World, Survivor, and Big Brother. So basically the only shows on television when I was in college was The Real World, Big Brother, and Survivor. So when you got off, you were just like instant celebrity.
Yeah.
Then and then the coolest part was now you're off, now you're famous. Now my job was to go around to bars and clubs around the country and get paid to party and drink and do spring break for 6 weeks.
Not the worst.
The worst? What?
Not the worst at all.
My buddies are still in college. They're like, wait a minute. How the fuck? It was like Willy Wonka's golden ticket, dude. They were like, how'd you do this?
All right, so we're gonna try to move and talk. We're gonna go quad pole here.
I can do that.
Across the turf, okay, nice. All right, so after The Real World, did you already have your sights set on another show, or
I wanted to do the challenge. I mean, obviously, I've been I grew up playing sports. I played baseball growing up, so I've always been very competitive and very athletic. So yeah, so that was really my main goal. So after the real world, I wanted to go on the challenge, and I wanted to, you know, keep that competitive flame burning.
Yeah.
But it's especially back then, like when the real world was out, there was so many people that were cast on the challenge every season. There was no guarantee that you were automatically going to be on. So the fact that I got cast on the challenge was like obviously a huge deal.
Nice.
And then I was actually eliminated first on my first season.
Ooh,
so
bummer.
yeah.
Let's go hamstring sweep. Here.
Yeah, your boy almost blew. I mean, I blew up on the launch pad. Luckily enough, they gave me a second shot.
Okay.
And I can honestly say that failure, that adversity that I faced on my first season really is what lit the flame and like really propelled me into, I think, a lot of the success that I've had. Because I think I feel like one of the things I've learned on reality TV and from the losses that I've had, not just the wins, is you actually learn more and you're affected more and you grow more from the losses than you do from the wins.
All right, let's go one more for our warm up. World's greatest stretch. So we'll go here, rotate. So for anyone maybe who isn't caught up or needs a refresher, can you tell us about that adversity on your first season of the challenge? What happened?
I basically showed up thinking, I mean, I'm on the show, it's a big party. I just got off, spring break. I was at the top of my, fame at the time. And I didn't realize that when I got into the house, I was swimming in a pool of sharks. And there was this whole game and strategy taking place around me that I basically wasn't prepared for and wasn't ready for. And before I knew it, I was sent in and sent home. And again, I got this tattoo right here. I don't know if you speak French.
C'est la vie.
You know what that means?
Not exact, no.
That's life.
That's life, okay.
Or it is the life, or shit happens.
Yeah.
And I basically put my fate in the game into the hands of the guy that I was going into elimination against. And I ended up losing. And one of the big lessons that I learned from that, actually from the host TJ, and I still tell him to this day, he goes, don't ever put your fate in the game or in life in somebody else's hands. You need to determine your own future. And that stuck with me.
Yeah.
And my Brazilian driver, the guy that took me to the airport after I flew out, he didn't speak a word of English. When I was getting out of the car, he knew how upset I was, and that's what he said. He said, c'est la vie. So as soon as I got home, I got that tattooed on me, and it's been a reminder. Every time I'm going through some shit, I'm not the first person that's been here, and I probably won't be the last. It's just, that's life, shit happens.
All right, so our first block of work, we're getting the upper body to prime, just like that, underhand row. We'll do some curls, and then we'll get on the straps for a little bit of core.
Curls for the girls?
About 10 reps, yep, curlies for the girlies.
All right.
All right, nice low angle, feet closer to the anchor point is gonna be harder, so you pick your poison. We ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
All right, here we go, elbows past the ribs. So we talked about adversity in the show, and now you've been on multiple seasons, multiple shows. What would you say was the most challenging show you've been on?
There's been a couple. One was The Island. We basically had to starve on a deserted island in Bocas del Toro, Panama for a month.
Oh.
Lost 30 pounds in a month, which was wild.
2 more.
And then we did a show a few years back, actually just prior to COVID, called Total Madness.
Okay.
And we basically had to live in a anti-aircraft,
Curls.
Soviet era anti-aircraft missile bunker in the Czech Republic, underground for 8 weeks, breathing artificial oxygen and never really seeing the sun. So seasonal affect disorder, or as they call it, seasonal depression, is a real thing.
Yeah.
And that was probably the most miserable I've ever been in my entire life, other than right now.
Did you know going in that that's what it was gonna be?
I had no idea. You never know showing up.
Okay.
That's the thing. The challenge is, that's why it's the challenge. It's everything's,
2 more.
You have to expect the unexpected. Some seasons we show up and we're in a villa on some beautiful beach town in Costa Rica. Other times we show up and we're in Vietnam eating frog's legs and showering in a porta potty, which we actually did in Vietnam. We had these little, so there was no plumbing in this house that we lived in.
Yeah.
So they had these pods that were basically half toilet, half shower.
For the whole show? The whole
There's
season?
8 of them. In Prague, in Czech Republic, when we did Total Madness, we had porta potties, but they were like those blue ones you have at construction sites.
Yeah.
There was no, because this place was from like the 60s. And it hadn't been used since the Cold War. So we were in, that was in the 60s, right? Whatever. Whenever that was.
That history lesson.
I'm not a math major. Yeah, so we had like, all the plumbing didn't work, so we basically had to, you know, all we had was a blue porta potty outside. It was like a 10-minute walk to get there because we were in a missile bunker. It was frozen, so like you'd go out there in the morning and like you'd like crack the lid open. A good day was when you woke up and you looked in the porta potty and it was like blue water, it had been cleaned. There wasn't like stuff sticking out. Yeah.
So in comparison, this current season that we're on is like a beautiful resort.
Oh, this place is
like
a dream.
the best.
Oh, this place is amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're in like a mansion.
Yes, in Santiago, Chile. Like it's basically it feels like Beverly Hills. Like that's how this location was. Yeah, we have zero control season to season what's going on. The producers just, you know, every season's different, every location's different, the format's different. The only constant is me. The only certainties in life are death, taxes, and bananas.
Nice. All right.
It's actually the name of my podcast.
Yeah.
You should listen on
Wait,
YouTube.
I've been listening to
YouTube
some of
and
those.
Spotify. Anywhere you can find podcasts, actually.
Little plug. We'll talk about the podcast, but first, I was gonna have us do some pipes, but you said you have a progression.
Oh yeah, progression.
Yeah. All right.
Also called a modification.
I'll let you guys know if it's easier or harder.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
So you're gonna go here,
Okay.
here,
Okay.
here,
Little brief. Okay. Okay.
then here.
All right. So it's just like a combo move.
Yeah, so it's basically you're hitting all the areas of your core, and I'll try and do like 8 of those.
8 total of all of them.
Well, those 4 movements counts as 1.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Maybe wait before we start.
Okay.
I want to talk about or line you up because you're gonna be talking during this. You ready?
Talking during this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
All right. So you mentioned your podcast,
Uh-huh.
Death, Taxes, and Bananas, correct? So where did you start with that? Were you just like, let me just interview people who've been on the challenge, or kind of where the idea?
No, not really. So
Here
I
we
don't
go.
know if you're familiar with sports.
I've heard of that. Yep.
So there's a very famous Boston sports analyst nut named Bill Simmons, former ESPN, started his own podcast media network called The Ringer, and he has a bunch of different podcasts that he has under the Ringer umbrella. He's a huge challenge fan. He's actually known for coining the phrase America's 5th major sport, which is what he calls the challenge.
Nice.
So,
One more.
sure. So he hit me up at some point. He was like, dude, why don't we do, I'm launching The Ringer. We're doing a reality television feed. Why don't we do a podcast on the challenge? I wasn't too into it at first.
Okay.
Just because I have so much other shit on my plate.
Yeah.
But it's actually been one of the coolest experiences I've done. I love doing podcasts.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's the challenge, but I cover basically all reality TV.
Okay. All right, we're gonna do one more round of those 3.
Okay, so just so you know,
Yes.
why don't you ask questions while we're doing this time?
I mean, the goal is that it
Here's
goes
what you're
back
gonna
and
do.
forth.
No, I know, you're really gonna be stretching out your core while you're doing this, but can you just talk and think at the same time? One of the, in a previous life, I was also a travel host on NBC.
Yeah.
That was my first,
2 more.
that was basically the first time I did something other than reality TV, and I've always enjoyed kind of like human interaction. I've always been very curious and inquisitive when it comes to people, but I've always been a much better talker than a listener.
Okay.
My ex-girlfriends can all vouch for that.
Yeah.
So it was the first time I had to learn how to like listen instead of talk.
Okay.
So that was kind of when I really learned how to interview, how to be a good interviewer, how to kind of go off script, kind of use a script as like an outline, but then you never really know where the questions are gonna take you. So it's about like, you know, really kind of pulling that thread and seeing where it leads to. Mm-hmm. I can, to this day, if I do interviews or if I'm listening to an interview, especially like a host or something like that,
yeah. Two more.
You can always tell the ones that are actually interested or the ones that know about what they're talking about and the ones that are just basically reading off a cue card.
Yeah.
And that's kind of an art because the whole point is to have the conversation feel natural and feel like it flows because you don't know where it's gonna go. The amount of times I've done interviews for press or whatever, and they'll ask a question like, what's your favorite color? It's like blue. And then it's just like, where'd you grow up?
Yeah.
It's like me saying the color blue, you should then take that and then where does that go? Why is that your favorite color? You know, what is it about the color blue? You know what I mean? So, right. And that's a very basic example, but that's the thing. I've done interviews with people like when we do press every season, and you can tell the ones that like actually care and actually know what they're talking about and the ones that are just reading questions off a list just to get it over with, you know?
So you're talking about knowing when a host or interviewer really cares or has done their research or knows how to continue the conversation. So we're gonna do 3 more of these, and then I want you to tell me your top 3 tips for me, because this is what I'm learning and doing, is interviewing. Yes, last one.
I will tell you this.
Okay.
Not to toot my own horn, but I'm very comfortable on camera.
Yeah.
I'm very good at like picking up and leaving off and like stopping and starting again. What I always noticed when I hosted my show is if you're interviewing someone that's not comfortable on camera or who isn't necessarily somebody that is a great conversationalist, the key is to make them forget about this.
Yeah.
If you're constantly stopping them, they're gonna constantly be reminded of this. So what we would always do is like, and that's why like I would always, believe it or not, have mic issues on, and these people, you'd finally start getting them to where they were comfortable, and I'd be like, hold on, the mic's not working. And then this person then is like, oh shit, I'm on camera again.
Yeah.
And then it like takes them off. Again, it's like, the more I hosted, the more I learned that it's like, interviewing someone really is an art form. And the more seamless you can make it, and the more it flows, what ends up happening is all those questions you had in your outline, you'll start going places and you'll start uncovering stuff and you'll start pulling threads that like, places you never even intended on going. And a lot of times those are the best ones. You just showed me that clip earlier about with Marlon Wayans and Tyreek Withers.
Yeah. I
just filmed a commercial with them, or a trailer for him.
Yes.
And Universal had this list of questions they wanted to ask, and they were the dumbest questions. Oh, when you were filming him, were you ever covered in so much blood it freaked you out? And when I was asking their questions, these two could not have been more deadpan and less interested.
Yeah.
I went off script and I asked Marlon Wayans, I was like, yo, dude, like, obviously in Living Color, which I was invented sketch comedy. I was a kid when In Living Color came out. I was like, you play a goat in this movie. I was like, but you can almost consider yourself the GOAT like when it comes to sketch comedy because you and your brothers invented that. And he got so deep, when I mentioned his family, I mentioned his brothers, he goes, my entire life has been about trying to get my brother's approval. It's all that matters to me. And no matter what I do, no matter how much I accomplish, I feel like I'll never have their, but he's like, but that's what keeps on pushing me and driving me to do better is because I'm constantly out there trying to get their approval. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That didn't make the cut, unfortunately. But I was like, yo, and that was the first time I saw him let his guard down and become like a real person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've always had a hard time. My biggest thing when and you're just naturally good at this because females usually are, about being open and being vulnerable. It's a hard thing to get guys to do because a lot of times like men see vulnerability as a sign of weakness. And when I started hosting, that's what my producers kept telling me. They were like, dude, be you. Like, you don't need to be Johnny Bananas all the time. You don't need to be this, everything doesn't need to be a tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic joke. Like, you can, like, feel free to, like, be vulnerable, be open, because then that's, like, a side that people aren't used to seeing. So,
right.
Yeah.
Wow. Where do you think, what helped kind of with that crossover? Because I feel like, I've seen you on TV and even around, like the first time we met, you are very much a personality.
Yeah.
So what helped you to be able to cross over and do this kind of conversation and open up?
Again, a lot of coaching from like my producers who've been in the game for a long time. And that was my biggest hurdle. My two biggest hurdles was shut the fuck up and let the guests talk, right? Be interested, don't be interesting. That's what my producer Brian would always tell me. Because in my mind, being on reality television, it's all about absorbing all the oxygen in the room, not taking anything seriously, being funny, not being vulnerable, not opening up. When I hosted this travel show, it was the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Ask the questions, let them go. And I've noticed this too, I'll watch some hosts, and if everything's a fucking joke, if everything they say is a joke, you don't take them seriously as a host.
Right.
One well-placed joke every now and then helps the information go down.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that. It's like, just be more serious. And my fear was people who know me as Johnny Bananas are gonna watch me being this, fucking buttoned up, like vulnerable travel host. And they're gonna be like, who is this guy? Like, who is this loser? We don't know him. It was the exact opposite reaction. People saw that side of me and they're like, oh my God, dude, like you aren't a one-trick pony. Like there's more to you, there's more layers than we thought. You're like an onion.
Yeah.
I got an ass like an onion too. It makes you want to cry. See, there's your joke.
We're not going to go further into that.
There's your joke to make the information go down, Haly.
I was going to say my new mentor, but...
Oh, I thought you were going to say something about you being an onion as well.
I'm also like an onion. Why?
Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
I think we'll work on that one. Yeah. All right, here we go. We're going walking lunges.
Just showing off. Just showing off my workout knowledge.
Well, speaking of your workout knowledge, you, sir, own a fitness studio, right?
I do.
Rumble Boxing.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I do.
East Boca. Shout out if you want a class.
Thank you.
So tell me what gave you the idea to get into that? You played
You
sports.
know so much about my studio, even though you've never been there.
Well, I'm supposed to go with you. So
Wow, what'd you read that? You read that on Google?
You told me about it.
What was the question?
What
made me want to get into it?
What inspired you to get the studio?
What made me want to get into it?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to open a TRX studio, but apparently that had already been done here in Boca. So I was like, what's the next best thing? No, for real.
Let's go over here. You're going to go on this one.
Okay.
I'm going to go on this one. We're going to do knee tucks.
Knee tucks?
Yup.
What?
I don't even know if I can jump that high.
Another great movement for answering questions. You're just full of them.
All right, so.
It's good for the obliques.
Okay, so you own a Rumble studio. How did that happen?
How?
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Okay.
A lot of patience.
Yep.
A lot of permits.
Okay.
Did I say a lot of money?
Let's do two more. A lot of money you had or you needed?
Well, I needed until I pulled off a jewelry heist at the Louvre, stole Napoleon's jewels, family jewels.
Love that. So that was just to pay off your debt?
That was me. I'm an American now, bitches. You can't get me here.
Let's go to some hang cleans.
Or do they have extradition? Do we have extradition from France? Just kidding, that was not me. No, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I've always been into fitness.
Okay.
The one thing that I love obviously about the challenge is it has given me a reason to stay in shape.
Yes.
Which is why, at the ripe old age of 43 years old,
wow,
I still look the way that I do. That and I don't have kids and I'm not married. I think that also kept me pretty young as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the challenge gives me a reason to stay fit and to stay in shape because I have to continue to compete. And I keep getting older, the competition gets younger, and it's very difficult to try and keep up with the 22-year-old in the competition arena, not in the outside world. But so I wanted to do something that I could justify opening a business. I want to do something instead of opening like a bar or a club, because then that's just going to be bad temptation all the time.
Yeah.
I decided to open a boxing studio. My friends are from New York. They're huge fans of Rumble. Their territory opened up here in Boca del Rey, and we jumped at the opportunity. And it's been an amazing experience. I will say though, as the saying goes, if owning a small business was easy, everyone would do it. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, and you probably know this as well, being in the fitness industry, Man, there's a lot of tough egos to deal with.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
All right, we're gonna do 10 hang cleans.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, oh, we're doing a squat
Oh,
too?
are we not?
Let's do a squat.
Yeah. Come on,
Nice.
man. Modification.
So do you have any plans or dreams to become a trainer yourself and coach classes or clients?
How did you know? Well, Haly, it just so happens I'm actually going through what's called the Contender program right now because I'm going to start coaching classes at Rumble.
Oh.
I thought you were putting yours down. The fact that I haven't already is actually kind of wild.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I don't know if, believe it or not, a lot of people come to Rumble to see me.
How come?
It's kind of like a pilgrimage.
But like for what?
Well, you know, like in Islamic culture, like Mecca, everybody goes there as like a religious experience.
Right, but what's the draw?
People feel the same way about me at Rumble. It's almost like they make this once a year pilgrimage to see me.
I don't get it.
Basically like Jesus.
Now I
Basically,
get it. Okay,
same reason people go to church, you know?
That tracks.
Because they want to be in the presence of the Holy Spirit. And I'm about as close as I get. I always say that I have forged my own trail, blazed my own path.
Take us to church, man. Let's go.
There's one person's footsteps I walk in, those are Jesus's. And people are like, oh my God, does it suck that some people out there hate you? And I was telling them, you know what? I don't even like Jesus either.
That's true. That's really, really true.
There you go.
All right,
Okay.
so one thing, since we're talking about you owning a business, you have a podcast, it seems like you have a lot of different things going on, your hand and stuff, which I'm sure.
A lot of irons on the stove or something.
Yeah.
A lot of
for
plates spinning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that something you started out doing? Because it kind of reminds me of athletes, professional athletes that I've worked with who had to kind of learn, you know, they made all this money all of a sudden, and it can go away quickly if you are not smart.
Yes, so the smartest move I ever made, and it was something I totally did by accident, as much as I want to sit here and be like, oh, I'm a branding, marketing fucking genius. When I went on reality TV, I knew how competitive the landscape was. My name at the time, my nickname, that actually I was given by my business partner, John, at Rumble. I was like, I'm not gonna be John. That's my real name, John.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be John. I'm gonna go on, I'm gonna make people call me Johnny Bananas. Not knowing that here we are this many years later, I would be able to take the brand, the image, the likeness, the name, and spawn multiple different businesses and income revenue streams off of that brand.
Right.
I have my own cannabis line now called Bananabis.
There we go. Plug
Available at a dispensary near you in Ohio. I came up with that name. I saw the word cannabis and I'm like, what did you put banana? Because there's a lot of ANs in it. I'm like, what did you put banana in front of it? And yeah, Bananabis was born.
All right, it's catchy.
My my podcast, Death, Taxes, and Bananas. Again, because that's the joke I always like to make. The only constants on the challenge are, in life actually, the only three things that are certain. You're gonna die, you're gonna pay taxes, and you're not getting rid of me.
Yeah.
Clothing line, obviously.
Look at that.
I actually stole this logo from MGK. A lot of my logos are stolen. Okay.
All right.
Why reinvent the wheel? If it works, if it's visible, I'll steal it and then I'll just wait till I get a cease and desist, and then that actually makes it even more popular because then I'm like, guys, I gotta sell all these before you'll never see them again. I'm kind of like Banksy.
Smart.
I'm kind of like Banksy in the clothing realm.
Okay.
A lot of my logos were stolen, but
Okay. Let's go again.
yeah. And then I've got also coming up soon, got a docu-series that we're gonna start filming.
Oh yeah. Yep. You mentioned
Produced by Shed Media,
that. Okay.
which is the production company that does all the Housewives franchise.
Nice.
It's gonna be called Bananas Republic.
You heard it here first.
No, you did. They didn't hear anything.
Oh, I heard it here
And
first.
it's gonna be based on my life and all my shenanigans that I get into in Florida.
Nice.
So yeah, maybe we'll do like a TRX segment.
Love that.
Yeah, where we go on and you do really simple workouts and I do modifications to make them more sweet.
We'll work on the terminology. How about that? Oh, so with this documentary, Do you already know for sure like some things you want to include? Or
Oh,
is it
yeah.
gonna be kind of, okay.
All sorts of stuff. Guinness Book of World Record. I think we discussed that earlier.
Let's go to the bars.
Guinness Book of World Records. I want to do the Red Bull flute tug where I create a fun little apparatus to fly off a pier on.
Heck yeah.
Want to throw a party at my old real world house.
All right.
No, it actually works the exact opposite. They actually call me and they're like, is now a good time? And I'm like, I don't know. What do you want to know? What's your availability? Okay, you got 30 seconds. Give me your best pitch.
All right. So what are the things that draw you in? Like you just did the most recent
Time
season.
period.
Okay.
Period of time.
Time period, period of time. Got it.
Time period, period of time. It's a period piece. That's all basically I know. Because other than that, everything else is a secret. The cast, well, we figure out the cast because we talk.
You get to talk about the cast?
No, I'm saying as a cast, we talk.
Oh, okay.
So once the calls go out, immediately people start trying to fucking plot and scheme, you know?
Yeah.
I don't do that.
No.
I like to keep my circle very small. I like to just show up and then just, adapt.
Adapt.
Sometimes, as they say, sometimes if you try and plan too much, as my dad always says, analysis leads to paralysis.
All right, so
Yeah.
after being on reality TV, especially The Challenge and these gaming shows, do you feel like you are less likely to trust people? Like even without
Hell
the cast
yeah.
calling?
I don't even trust you. Where's this footage going?
Who knows?
Yes, I'm as jaded as they get.
All right, let's do
And
Legends
it's
back.
unfortunate because that has followed me into my real life.
Oh no.
Yeah, when you're someone like me that has been exploited
Yeah.
and burned as many times as I have, you just naturally basically think the worst. You basically plan for the worst, hope for the best, instead of hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Okay.
But yeah, that comes with a lot of experience with, again, being, burned, manipulated, double-crossed, sham-wowed, I don't know, whatever verbiage you want to use.
Yeah.
It's just my water. But I also think it's made me a more complete person on the outside. It's almost like if you've never been through a really bad breakup, you don't know what it feels like, but once you have,
Yeah.
you're like, now I know what to look for in the future so that doesn't happen again. Picture being like 100 bad breakups. Not all like relationship breakups. Like I'm
Yeah.
talking about business deals gone sideways, managers, agents taking advantage, production taking advantage. Again, like people I've dated or friends that I've had taking advantage.
Yeah.
So it always caused me to take pause when I meet someone or if I'm dating someone to be like, what's this really about?
Right.
What are your true intentions? Do you like me for me or do you like, so in a way it does make me, it makes me a much more jaded person. But if you're in the industry that I'm in and when your entire life and your entire existence is put out there for public consumption,
Yeah.
and in the day and age that we're living in now, so much worse than it used to be.
Right.
Cancel culture was not a thing. You had to do something really fucking bad to get canceled.
Yeah.
Like Jeffrey Epstein level shit. Now it's like, oh, if we find a tweet from 2011 where you fucking, I don't know, said some unsavory shit, like now your life's over.
Yeah.
And it never used to be like that. And people understood that it's like, hey, we're 20-something-year-old kids. Everyone are in this age demographic or whatever. Everyone makes mistakes.
Right.
But because ours are broadcast publicly, you can sit there and criticize what we've done or how we act when it's like, if you were on TV, you'd probably be making the exact same mistakes. The only difference is we are putting ourselves out there for entertainment purposes. And again, cancel culture never existed back in the day. And that's why now I'm constantly, worried about things being misinterpreted, things being misconstrued, or things being taken out of context as a way to try. Because believe it or not, this may be hard for you to believe, there's a lot of people out there that don't like me.
Yeah.
And wish literally the worst upon me. Like there's people probably right now plotting my demise. And I know that. And
Yeah.
it kind of sucks sometimes to think about that. Like, holy shit, like, you know, all it takes is one misstep and everything that you worked for and everything that you built for the last 20 years could be gone like that.
Yeah.
And they've tried. I'm almost like, I don't want to say Donald Trump, but I have survived multiple assassination attempts, but they were like cancellation assassination attempts.
Right. Okay.
And I think at this point, I kind of am like Neo in the Matrix, just like dodging cancellations like bullets.
Yeah. So let me ask you then, because we talked earlier about being vulnerable. You said you've gotten to a place where you can be, and knowing that this is how your life is, and from the outside in, it is really hard to trust people. And you said, like, I feel like I'm probably a little jaded. How do you cope, like, with your mental health? Because we've been talking about this with different people I've interviewed and, like, you know, mental health practices, but definitely it is a newer topic. It's like more accepted now.
Yeah.
But still, I think hard for, you know, people my age, your age, just growing up to kind of be like, I don't need therapy, I don't need that.
Yeah, I probably do need therapy. I've just never done it. The therapy that I choose is what we're doing right now.
Okay.
My biggest form of therapy is exercise.
Yeah.
And if I'm sick or if I'm not feeling well, if I hurt myself, the first thing that pops in my mind is like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to fucking work out. How long is this gonna set me back?
Yeah.
And what I've found with exercise is it's one of the only things, there's only 3 things that we do that our body rewards us for by releasing dopamine and serotonin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they are?
Tell me.
Yes.
A little exercise.
Okay.
I don't know.
Come on.
I mean, I would say maybe sex.
Yep.
And I've heard crying can
Nope.
release, no?
Eating.
Eating, okay.
So those 3 things your body is rewarding you for because exercise keeps you healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Sex keeps, it's supposed for procreation, it keeps population healthy.
Yeah.
And eating also keeps you healthy. So your body's rewarding you for those things.
Okay.
So no matter how bad I am feeling,
Mm-hmm.
I do one of those 3 things that's gonna make me feel better. But exercise generally is what has the most profound effect.
Yeah.
And I don't care what I'm going through, and I don't care how bad it is, and I don't care how dark my day is, or whether it's a hangover, a breakup, doesn't matter. I know that if I commit to a 30, 45 minute, hour-long workout where I'm uncomfortable and I'm in pain, I'm gonna turn around and walk out feeling like a different person.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. The other thing that I've learned is for me, and I think for everyone, you're never gonna find, everyone's like, oh, you've gotta find a balance. You're never gonna find a balance, okay? There's never a time where you're like, okay, now everything's perfectly balanced. It's just constantly shifting thing. But the balance that I've found is basically what the yin and yang symbol stands for, and that's chaos and stability. Chaos is the world around us that is just kind of no walls, no barriers, just kind of like unexpected. It's just like, you know, whatever's out there in the world. Stability is like your home, your people, your family. If you have too much chaos in your life, if you don't have this, if you don't have that home base, and if you don't have that place to ground yourself, you get lost and you don't have any way to like navigate. You don't have anything to bring you back down to like to earth and to ground yourself. If I didn't have I have a house in California, which is still like my fortress of solitude. If I didn't have my home, if I didn't have my family, if I didn't have a good support network around me, that brings me back and helps me like block out the noise, then that's all you have is noise. And then you start identifying and you start taking what's out there in reality, and especially the world that I live in, the entertainment industry, the reality entertainment industry, you start comparing yourselves to what's going on. You start taking all the criticism for real. You start, you know, second guessing decisions that you made because it's all based on this fake artificial reality world.
Yeah.
So being able then to, and it's what helps me distinguish between Johnny Bananas and John DiVinanzio. Yeah. If I'm constantly in reality world, I'm always on.
Yeah.
And I never have the chance to be off, and I never have the chance to be myself, and I never have the chance to shut that off. So I'd say that like that's been, I guess, now has it worked perfectly? Probably not, because I'm probably pretty fucked up. I always say this, I'm like, when I die, I want to donate my brain to science so they can study like the long-term side effects of reality television on the human brain.
Yeah.
But I truly feel like with exercise, working out, with that balance that I've found. And I think, and as much as I hate to say it, just the numbness, because I've been through so much and I've put my mind and my body through so much. Things that I feel like would affect the normal person don't affect me the same way.
Yeah.
And I think that's how your body, in a weird way, that's how your mind and your body protects you. It's like they say, like, I don't know, mafia hitmen or like assassins. It's like the first like 1 or 2 people they killed was horrible. It was the hardest ones. But after that, it's like, you don't even see them as lives anymore.
Right.
Now, I don't want to say I'm a fucking murderer, but I'm saying I feel like my brain's done the same thing, where it's like, now all these experiences that I had that at one time affected me like a lot, don't anymore, because I have conditioned myself and numbed myself, and got enough calluses now where it just doesn't affect me the way it probably should.
Yeah. Well, I would say even like watching the show Traitors, you can see some of the people who make it a long time, you can see the effect it has on them of not knowing, is this person that I'm really close with lying to me, even though it's a game, but that means they've been lying the whole time. So that is a pretty crazy.
Love Island's even worse. What they do to those kids on Love Island is diabolical, dude.
Yeah.
There's a thing on, it happens in real life too, but it happens much more quickly and much more aggressively in reality TV. It's called trauma bonding.
Yeah.
And when you are on a show, or you're in an environment like a reality television show, where very high stress, very high stakes, pressure cooker, and then on top of that environment, you add intimacy.
Yeah.
You basically, what you're doing is it's like speed dating on steroids.
Right.
They say in life, once you've spent 100 hours with somebody, like in an intimate setting, your feelings change and they get like a lot deeper. It goes from like, oh, do I kind of like this person? Are they cool? To where it's like, now I actually have feelings with the person. That takes 100 hours. That happens on a reality show in 3 days.
Yeah.
So by say week 3, 4, 5, you've now spent the equivalent of 100, 150 dates with this person. But that all happens, that would normally take 6 months.
Right.
That happens in 3, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then what they do is, now you are so close to this person and you're so attached to this person, you're so trauma bonded to this person. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take all these new hot chicks, we're gonna bring them in, and we're gonna be like, well, explore your options. And then when you do, we're gonna fucking roast you for doing it.
Right. Right.
It's so diabolical what they do. I've experienced it on a much smaller scale, just because obviously when you're on the challenge, you get into relationships, but the point of the show isn't to get you in relationships and then break you out of them, know?
Right.
The trouble you face on my show is once the show's over, and now you're like super bonded with this person, and you're like, oh my God, everything about you's perfect. We have the same friends, we have the same routine, we like the same things. It's like, no, that's because you've been living in a bubble for the last 6 weeks. Then you get to the outside world, you live in 2 different states, you're into 2 different things, you have 2 completely different lives, and then it's like, how do you make that work? So that's kind of like, what gets a little bit tricky. Well, here's what it is.
2 more.
We're usually when we're filming, we're in a third world country, okay? We're in a third world country. The people that they have building our eliminations, our challenges, have never built anything like this before.
Okay.
We'll probably never build anything like this again. They built it in 3 days. And it's something that they literally took from a diagram and like built. So, and they're generally, to fit the theme, are building it out of like bamboo and branches. So, sometimes you're gonna have mistakes, but that's part of the show. And sometimes it works in your favor and sometimes it works against you. I've been on both sides. Because there have been times when I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I saw that too, but I'm gonna pretend like I didn't, even though it helped me. And there's other times where you're like, dude, that was such a clear and obvious mistake, but it all comes down to producer's discretion. And what they say is, don't leave it in our hands.
Yeah.
Win by enough to where there's no question. Too big to rig.
Okay.
So, and that's the thing, sometimes it works out for you, sometimes it doesn't. Now, the ones that I find unfair are the challenges which are fan favorites, but which are also most dangerous, like Hall Brawl, where you are in a fucking tiny little hallway that your shoulders barely fit in. You have to run full speed and try and run over the guy in front of you. Now, when you're matched up with someone that's your size, all right, may the best man win. When you're going in against a 230-pound, 6'4" fucking linebacker, what's the point? It's physics. This ain't happening. So I've never actually had to do that against someone, but, and I've already said it before, but I'll say it again. If and when that day does come, I'm fucking turning around and running backwards. Because at this point in my life, there is nothing that important to like risk, you know, injuring and breaking my neck for. So those are the ones that I'm not a huge fan of. Exactly what that's exactly what I'm talking about. There was, okay, the only one of the, I guess, football sort of themed eliminations that I think it's not totally fair, but it's more fair, is balls in. And the reason being, weight does play a factor, but speed can also play a factor, right? So even if a guy is bigger, if you're small, if you're more agile and you're quicker, you can use that to your advantage. In the one I did against Gabe Tug of War, there was nothing that I'm gonna do that is gonna make me any heavier. Whereas in balls in, yes, the bigger guy can run you over, but then when it's your round, you're then able to use your speed and your quickness as an advantage because they can't move as fast. So I feel like there's a equalizer in that. But again, you never know, you know, what you're gonna get. Well, you got to go on a show. You got to be on the challenge. You have to do a, you know, unless you're doing like a bring your friends or a family member, like bloodline ride or die style season, you have to have previously been on a show. I wouldn't recommend it for everyone. It's definitely not for everyone. I've seen people whose lives have been ruined because of they just can't handle the public scrutiny and they just can't handle the backlash, and they can't handle, or sometimes they can't handle the fleeting fame. That's what I think really fucks a lot of people up, is fame's a drug, right? And it's like, sometimes the more you have, the more you want. And then once it starts to wear off, you're constantly now like, oh my God, how do I get that back? And then these people completely lose sight of who they are and what is actually important in life, because all they're trying to do is like, you know, reignite that flame that for most people will never be ignited again. Because a lot of people, quite honestly, don't belong on TV or to be famous.
All right, so we're gonna do our last little finisher, rapid fire questions. You're gonna be in the handstand holding. I'm gonna ask you questions and you're gonna very clearly and coherently answer.
Ooh.
Yeah?
Can I use the same answer for multiple questions?
No. What's one show you haven't been on you want to be on?
Bachelor.
What is a movie role you would love to play?
Hugh Hefner.
What is your favorite show you've been on? And what season?
Turf Toe.
Turf Talk. What's the hardest show or season you've done?
Turf Toe.
Oh my gosh. What's the season with the most drama?
Next question.
Your favorite place you've gotten to travel for TV?
South of France.
Why is this your favorite thing you've ever done?
Because it was...
With me, nice! That is a wrap. Turf Talk with your host, me, HalyJ, and our guest today, Johnny Bananas. Thank you for being here. He's practicing his Zen, his yoga. That workout was a little much for him, but it's okay, he did well. We talked a lot. We talked about vulnerability, being on a reality TV show, and all the stuff in between. So one more time, I want to say thank you, Johnny, for being here. Come on over, say bye to the people. Before we go though, I want to ask, what do you want the people to know? Oh, look at that, wow. What do you want the people to know about what's coming up for you, any shows you might be on, business stuff, where we can buy your Bananabis, all that?
Bananabis, any dispensary in the great state of Ohio, will soon be available in the Bahamas and in Colorado, so stay tuned. The greatest reality television podcast of all time, Death, Taxes, and Bananas. You can find it anywhere you get your podcast, but mostly Spotify. Real Johnny Bananas for all sweet Johnny Banana swag. And if you don't already follow me, basically Real Johnny Bananas everywhere except for Snapchat, your boy Bananas.
There you go.
There you go.
You better follow him, get connected, and we'll see you for a workout soon.
Or else,
Rumble.
We know where you live. Oh yeah, and if you're in South Florida and you want to throw some dogs, come see me at Rumble Boxing East Boca. All right,
Go.
all it takes is 2 fists, 0 experience.
There we go.
Woo!